Welcome to the legendary Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. This is home to some of the most iconic moments in motorsport history. Today the spotlight's on the GT3 machinery and the Throttle Freaks GT3 League. This is a 3.565.73 kilometer track that blends high-speed oval banking and technical infield sections. Our drivers are going to demand to travel around and navigate the 12 difficult corners here. Each one is a test of their precision, bravery, and endurance. This track isn't just fast, it's historic. Since 1962, it's hosted the Rolex 24, one of the world's premier endurance races. And nestled in the infield, Lake Lloyd, a man-made lake originally dug to build the track's steep banking, now used for powerboat racing. Buckle up, fans. Daytona delivers speed, spectacle, and a whole lot of thunder. I am, as usual, Rob Campbell in the booth with me, Richard Swindells, and Rich, what are you looking forward to here this season at Throttle Freaks? We've kind of combined a little bit of classes here. We've got the fixed Pro and Am class kind of combined together, and then the sprint class, which was normally a second showing here. We've got them all scattered into one fixed series here this evening. So last count, looks like we've got about 50 some drivers potentially hit the track here this evening. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to see how these guys negotiate turn one here with this huge field. It's nice to see so many drivers coming out for this summer session, and I think with that many cars on track, with a mixture of pros, pro-ams, and amateurs, we're going to see some excitement tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. We should probably take a look at the schedule. We got a moment here, see where we're going to be heading out. We're going to start here at Daytona, as mentioned, and head to Fuji after a week off next week for a 4th of July break and Canada Day break. Then we're going to head to Spa for round 3. Round 4 is going to see us at VIR, and then round 5 is going to take us to Italy, to Misano. Looking forward to that one. It's a track that gets little used, but I think it's a great track. Magny-Cours is going to kick off round 6. Interlagos, otherwise known as Jose Carlos Pace, for round 7. Road America, one of our favorites, for round 8. Silverstone, round 9, and we're going to finish everything up at Nürburgring on the Grand Prix circuit. So a lot of great tracks on the way here, Rich. I suspect we'll see a ton of racing.
Yeah, a lot of tracks I actually really love on that schedule too. Only one I'm not familiar with, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the Nürburgring Grand Prix. I really love that track, so a nice way to cap off the season. Starting off at Daytona, Rolex track. I didn't know they did powerboat racing, but that's pretty cool too. And then going up and finishing up at Nürburgring. So we're most of the way, 2/3 of the way through qualifying here. Looks like the drivers are out there setting some decent times. Matt Stadnick right now is an amateur from last season, but sitting top of the qualifying in the Pro Division so far.
Yeah, nice showing by Matt Stadnick here. He was jumping up into the sprint series that, as I mentioned, got merged into one series here. So well done by him. He was, as you mentioned, our winner of the AM side of the sprint series last season, and coming out strong so far. Jay Steffi, another driver currently sitting in 2nd overall. Strong showing by him. He was in the battle for the AM championship on the Pro championship on the fixed side of things last season, Rich. So surprising to see him up there with all the quick drivers we have here this evening.
Yeah, well, Jay was indicating he was going to go into the Open series, and so it looks like he's right where he was going to be, and I expect to see him fast. He was fast last season. He's fast this season, so good on Jay. Nice job.
Yeah, well done by him so far. J.R. Williams, another driver that's back this season that we haven't seen. A little bit common name in the PRL season that we had beforehand. That's kind of went by the wayside and brought us the Throttle Freaks league that we have here this evening. Throttle Freaks spawned from the ashes of the former Precision Race League. So good to see that we're getting some former drivers back from the Precision Race League side of things and participating in the Throttle Freaks here, Rich. A number of names that we've seen in the past that we've raced with in the precision racing side of things that we're back on track. A couple of other names that we've always seen: Colin McKenzie, Tyler Graff, last season's GT3 fixed pro driver champion. So Tyler was another driver that was stepping up into the sprint side of things. before it got merged into the one race. So I'm interested to see how he fares this season with a little stiffer competition. But right now, doing well. Currently got himself in 10th overall. So strong showing for Tyler.
Yeah, well, I think no matter which way you go, fast drivers are fast drivers, Rob, and call it what you will in terms of their classification. If they've got pace, they've got pace, and we saw that last year in the pros and the AMs both hashing it out. Sometimes the AMs actually got the overall victory, so it's going to be a really interesting season here. We're about 13 minutes through qualifying, just a couple of minutes, and the remainder of a lap to go. We'll see what happens under the lights here at Daytona tonight.
Yeah, Daytona seems to be a popular track to have night racing across iRacing. A lot of drivers like to run Daytona at night. I think it's one thing. I think you just get cooler temps being a Florida track. So you get those cooler temps where sometimes the day race here, Rich, can just be blistering and tough on the tires. So a lot of our drivers kind of lean more towards racing at night, and it's one of the few road courses that actually have full night packages, so you can do it well. Road Atlanta is another track that we see some night racing at. It doesn't really have the lighting all the way around the track. Most of the track is lit up, but Daytona, Road Atlanta, a couple of the common ones on the roadside. Sebring sees a lot of road races, although it doesn't really have any night lighting out there. It's you kind of just going by the way of the reflectors on the road a lot of the time. But another track that does see a lot of night racing, but we're not going to see Sebring this week or this season. A track that usually features in a lot of the TT3 leagues and seasons. It's one that we were at last season, but we won't be heading there this time around.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. Sebring's always a crowd favorite as well, but there's only 10 weeks on the schedule, and there's a lot of great tracks, and it's going to be interesting, and we're still going to have a lot of fun events this season. Just another minute or less, and one more lap to go. We're following around Blake Ziti. Blake had himself a great season last year. Now he's up in the pro-amateur division, and let's see how Blake does this. I think we'll see some good things out of Blake this season. He showed some great pace and some great humor last season, and we really enjoy having him in the booth. I hope to interview him maybe as early as later tonight.
Yeah, who knows? Blake, as we mentioned to him, or we've a couple times last season we talked to him, his profile picture there you can see on screen, playing into the whole Baked CD name that he's garnered. I wonder if his parents thought about that when they named him. Thought that Blake's gonna get Baked CD all through his life. Might be a nice little nickname that he can hold on to, but. He's playing into it with his profile picture. Another driver that was competitive last season in the fixed pro side of things, Rich, Brett Thurman, currently got himself sitting in 13th overall. So strong qualifying effort right now for Brett Thurman, up into the top 15 comfortably. Yeah,
Brett Thurman, I got to admit, he's one of my favorite drivers, but also a nemesis. I used to be competitive with Brett, and I am not now. If Brett and I were on the track at the same time, he would have me done and dusted, as you like to say, Rob. Brett's certainly had a great season last season, and we expect great things from him this season, moving into the pro-amateur class here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. But the bad Santa is back, as you like to point out, Rich. Up top, we've got Jim Feliz, though. He's knocked Matt Stadnick down to second place. So a couple of teammates from last season, although they were in different driver skill level categories. Jim was in the pro side, Matt Stadnick was in the AM side. Jim was actually battling for the championship down towards the end. He was wrapped up in that four-driver battle between himself, Sibson, Fernando Jaquez, and I believe David Mendonça might have been in there too as well, or possibly Fernando's teammate Nanny Tavares. Can't remember exactly how it all boiled down, but definitely there was a ton of battling right down to the wire in the sprint side of things.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, we had a great battle all the way going down to the last week. We've also got some new drivers here, Rob, that we didn't have last season. Nice to see Throttle Freaks picking up some new drivers. We're following around here with Nicholas Goen Racing Team right now. Nicholas right now sitting 14th overall, having himself a very strong showing in the Pro-Am class. I see another name here, looks like Chris Smireka. Oh, I'm getting a little caught up on that one, Rob. You may be able to help, but Chris is a new driver as well into the season, and nice to see another new driver joining us here tonight.
Yeah, we've got another number of names, as I mentioned, Rich, who've been in the PRL side of things, kind of coming back, joining the the fray. And then I'm also seeing a number of drivers that are in other leagues that we've broadcast on Pit Road Productions here that are coming over into the Throttle Freaks side of things and trying their hand with the class of drivers here. But qualifying clock has ticked away, so a couple of drivers still left on track, potentially putting in a qualifying time here. If they crossed the line before the clock ticked over, they did have the ability to finish up their lap. But looks like all of our drivers have now finished up, and we'll take a look at the qualifying results here in just a moment. Let's hide that. There we go. So we got Jim Feliz taking pole away from Matt Stanek in second place. Chris Smrekar in third. Jay Steffi, nice qualifying by him, in fourth. J.R. Williams in fifth. Kevin Simpson in sixth. Alex Hillman in seventh. Joshua Chinsky in eighth. Alex Hedgehog in ninth. David Bush the third is going to start in 10th. Tyler Graff in 11th, and Blake Zeedy in 12th.
Yeah, then we have Brett Thurman sitting in 13th, followed by Nicholas Goen in 14th. Caleb Lehman and Zach Mosley, 15th and 16th. Then we have Patrick Farrell, Tony Costello, 17th and 18th. Joshua Spears is 19th, followed by David Minona in 20th. Colin McKenzie is 21st, followed by Dale Peterson, 22nd. Jason Park, 23rd, followed by Herbert Pineda.
And then we're going to find in 25th, Robert Jeffries. He'll have Pete Mejia beside him. Roy Brown and Gene McClune going to make up 27th and 28th. Jacob Fichtner and Andrew Venaro rounding out the top 30. Javi Sierra in 31st. He'll have Neil Alexander beside him. Dave Jensen and David Morris taking 33rd and 34th. Kevin Bergquist going to start in 35th. Brett Pancari going to round out the top 36.
Top 36. Wow, we got a big field. We got Guillermo Pere in 37th, Ian Cabana 38th, Seb Goche 39th, followed by James Hand in 40th. Then we have Waldo Walden, great season last season, 41st, followed by Jared Duploy in 42nd, Josh Goen 43rd, and Nathan Doogie in 44th, Tyler Pastor in 45th, Teddy Peterson 46th. Sean Provo is 47th, and then Nathan Adair in 48th.
Now we're getting to the end of the field here now. Rich, Andrew Trickett in 49th. Sean Mulholland is the league admin. He was just in there for the little slap in the wrist for the drivers before the race started. We won't see him on track. That means Mark File and Eric Evans going to round out the field. 51 cars on track this evening. That's a full assortment of machinery out there. We've got basically every potential make and model that iRacing offers in the GT3 side of things. Numerous different cars up in the top 10, which we'd like to see. It was a bit of a Acura and Porsche Cup last season, so nice to see varying makes and manufacturers in this one. Rich?
Oh, that's for sure. Hey, you know what I'm most impressed with, Rob? We got all those names done by the time the Pigs card left. So, man, great field, great showing by the Throttle Freaks racers on week one. Great turnout. Expect some great racing. Looks like we got a little bit of tire warming up going on in the Acura there. Seeing Jim Feliz, seeing if he can try and get those tires heated up. He's looking for a great start, take advantage of that pole position.
Yeah, it's that time, Rich. Time for Throttle Freaks Racing. Okay, we're just waiting for the pace car to pull in and kick this one off, and then we'll be underway. Already green flag and flame handling. Away we go. There we go. 51 cars on down in turn one. Looks like Jim Feliz going to hold on to top spot. Chris Smrecker going to get around Matt Stanek and move himself up into second. J.R. Williams up one spot too as well. Jay Stiffy down into fifth. Alex Hillman up a spot. Kevin Simpson up a spot. And we got a number of cars losing it in the back end. We've got all Calamity kicking off. We should actually touch on the new tire here this season, Rich. A lot of our drivers getting accustomed with it, and turn one at Daytona can be a real snagglepuss as we see this many cars on track. Everybody trying to get just through there as best they can. We've got hood and body parts flying left, right, and center. We'll go back and take a look at all that action once things get sorted out a little bit. But up front, Jim Feliz and Chris Smrecker going to lead the way.
Yeah, it looks like we lost Brent Thurman and maybe a couple of others there on that early early going, and I expected with that many cars we may have some issues, and it looks like unfortunately we did. But yeah, Chris Smecker, new racer to Throttle Freaks, sitting in second, following on behind Jim Feliz. Matt Stadnick still holding on to third. It looks like the top several drivers got away clean, but the mess happened a little bit further back as they go through the chicane here, going back onto the high banked oval.
Yeah, coming around to clean up the first lap. Looks like Matt Stadnick starting to pull back in that Mercedes of Chris Smecker in second place. Again, new tire model this season where the tires in the GT3s are going to take about 2 laps before they really get back up to temp where they would have started with it in seasons past. So it's going to take our drivers a little bit of negotiating here to get around the first couple laps. Unfortunately, we've seen a number of drivers have to pop into the pits to get some repairs early on. Hopefully they can get back out on track. You hate to have your first race of the season go by the wayside just into turn 1.
Yeah, that really sucks. All that practice, and a little bit of a spin there and a slide. Tyler Graf got through clean, but somebody's turned around backwards facing the wall, and that's not a good place to be for Kevin Simpson.
Yeah, unfortunate for Kevin, he's going to have to wait for all these cars to go by as he's on the inside. He can't really get turned around out there, so unfortunate for him. But Tyler Graf's going to benefit from that. He's up 5 positions right now, Rich, into 6th place. So strong start for Tyler Graf, our fixed pro side champion last season.
Yeah, Tyler Graf definitely had himself a great season, a season to remember. Going to be really hard to duplicate here with the increased level of competition, but strong showing thus far, up in 6th.
Yeah, nice showing for him. We've got a number of battles going on through this one. We've got Herbert Pineda, kind of the tail car on this pack of cars up ahead. You can see there's just a long string of cars that I believe goes all the way up to, I believe it's Alex Hillman up front of this pack. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can say about 10 cars there, Rich, in a row heading into the bus stop.
Yeah, nobody's out of it when you're here at this stage. The draft is so powerful at Daytona. Picking up Nicholas Goen, our new driver to the Throttle Freaks, having himself a good showing, sitting 8th right now, and looking quite strong with Caleb Lehman right behind him.
Yeah, Caleb Lehman, driver that we see in the past in PRL, trying to chase down Nicholas Goen up ahead. Looks like Lehman getting a good run down the oval section. We'll see if he's able to make a move around Hillman into turn 1 here as see Lehman working to the outside, going to defend the inside onto turn 1. Lehman taking what we call the esports line all the way out to the white line. They're going to cut it back in, trying to carry as much speed through there as he can. But looks like the McLaren of Goen able to get back into the throttle a little quicker. The mid-motor McLaren versus the, I guess it's kind of front mid-motor of the Merc, where that motor is kind of right up underneath the dash. They got it so far back, trying to make it as much mid-motor front-engine car as they can. So we'll see if Caleb's able to extract a little more pace out of that Mercedes once he gets the Tylers back up to 10th here. They're on the 3rd lap, which generally from my testing, Rich, is when the tires start to feel a little better. You can start to push a little more. Still have to be a little weary as they head back onto the oval section here. So we'll see if Lehman can push it a little harder and potentially make that move.
I appreciate that info there, Rob, because I have not driven the GT3 car since the new tire model, so I'm going to be driving it soon in league racing, so as best I know, as we watch David Bush III. David had a great season last season, sitting 15th right now. David following along behind Dale Peterson, looking to close up on the back of him. As we're used to seeing David Bush III, he really loves that Lambo, and he's riding the Lambo again tonight.
Yeah, we've seen D. Bush go into a lot of fuel save mode when he gets in behind somebody early on, finds a comfortable pace. Right now sitting in 15th place. Can't really afford all that much to back out of the pace a little bit. Down 5 spots from where he qualified, so he's going to be wanting to try and get around Dale Peterson and gain back a couple of those spots that he's lost early on. But it looks like we got Jay Steffi. He's having to deal with Jack Hedgecox in behind him in that purple BMW. See Steffi going a little wide through turn 1. Hedgehogs a little tighter line through there, putting a lot of pressure on the back of Steffi now as they head into the first of the horseshoes. Again, Steffi going a little wide. Hedgehogs looking to the inside, trying to make that move. Unable to tuck the nose up in the inside, but we got a 3-car train just up ahead of them between Stadnick, Sprecher, and Feliz. That trio up front getting real close now, Rich, as Sprecher looks to the inside of Feliz. Fleas is going a little more late apex through the second horseshoe. They're going to head back up onto the banking. So this will be interesting to see if Smerecker can get a nice run. It's in between a couple SRT teammates there of Feliz and Stadnik.
Yeah, and the more those three guys battle it out, and it's just going to allow Jay Steffi and Jack Hedgecox to close back in. Right now, it looks like they're sitting a little bit of a distance apart, but Matt Stadnik's going to take full advantage here of the extreme draft, and I think it all depends how they take this bus stop here. What's going to happen as we come along on the high bank section. Looks like Matt Stanek getting through there clean. All three drivers making a great line through the bus stop, and looks like the guys behind them as well. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. Jack Hedgecox pulling it way up high. Wonder if maybe he got a slowdown, or he's just tightening up to cut back in. I'm not sure.
I think that's a slowdown for Jay Steffi. Generally, when you pull up to the top like that, or the bus stop, it means he got to slow down, trying to bleed it off and not lose as much time as he possibly can. But Jack Hedgecock's going to make the move around. That's going to promote him up 5 spots on the day into 4th place. So nice strong run for the BMW driver. We'll see if Jay Steffi, who's down 1 spot from where he qualified at, the spot was just given away to Hedgecox, and now via the slowdown, we'll see if he's able to pick up a little pace and move back around him. But we've got a number of battles going on throughout this one, Rich. We got drivers up and down the field separated by tenths. Right now we're on board with Herbert Pineda as he's trying to find a way around Jason Park. Jason Park wins one of our strong drivers in the fixed pro side last season, was battling up around the top of most races. Herbert Pineda, another driver that came on towards the end of the season after serving a hefty penalty to start off in race 1, so I suspect he's learned. Won't have that happen again this season, but they've caught up to the back of David Bush and Dale Peterson just up ahead.
Yeah, Herbert was one of the guys I really enjoyed interviewing. Nice guy, really honest, and great to see him having some good pace. Hopefully he can keep making some advancements there. Wow, what a race we've had so far, Rob. We're lap 5, 8 minutes into this 45-minute race, and action all over the track. We'll pick it up following the back wing of Dave Minona. He's got himself a little bit of a gap right now. He's 3/4 of a second behind anybody, and he's got almost 2 seconds guys behind him, so he really wants to get closing that up so he gets back in draft range and can start making some advancements.
Yeah, a bit of a purgatory setting here for Dave Manoa, as he's, as you mentioned, got a little bit of space between them, but you can see that train of cars. It starts with Caleb Lehman all the way back to Herbert Pineda, so 12th all the way back to 17th place, trying to chase them down. I suspect if they don't battle and stay in a train here, they could probably chase down the McLaren of Manoa up ahead, but he's starting to close in on that pack of Hillman, Mosley, Costello, and Goen up ahead, so got a 5-car battle here shaping out. So Manoa going to get saved by the draft of this pack up ahead. So we got 2 packs forming here in the top 15. Rich, if they can all link up, then we're going to have a massive battle here for all the way up into, I believe, 7th place. Nicholas Goen is leading this pack around.
Yeah, I don't know if we really need that, Rob. I'm an old man. I don't know if my heart could take 15 cars going for the lead on the last couple of laps. But, hey, more power to it if they can happen. I'd love to see it. Nicholas Goen sitting in 7th place now, up 7 positions, but right behind him we've got Tony Costello. Tony up 10 positions, and wow, some great advancements from that driver up front.
Yeah, a lot of moving and shaking here by a number of drivers, but we got some big movers and shakers back in the field. Waldo Walden looks like potentially our highest mover. Sorry, I correct myself. Eric Evans up 23 positions on the day, currently in 29th place. One of our drivers that didn't qualify started tail on the field. Looks like Eric was able to avoid that first lap carnage, Rich, and was benefactor of that. Up 23 positions, got himself just in the top 30. So that shows you the sheer number of cars we had entering this race tonight, when you can start at the tail end of the pack, make up 23 positions, and still only be in 23rd place.
That's just insane, and it just shows you the quality of racing here at Throttle Freaks, and the number of drivers wanting to get in on this exciting and fun league to join and race in, and great job by the organizers. So we're just pleased to be here as we follow along with Chris Smerecker. Chris driving in the Merc. I'm not a big Merc fan, but obviously he is, and sitting in 2nd place overall has shown that it is very much a competitive car this evening.
Yeah, the top 3 Not much changing here between them. Statnik caught up to the back of Smrecker and Feliz. They were nose to tail last time we checked into them, really close, only maybe a tenth separating between the three of them. And now we got about 1.2 from Feliz all the way back to Statnik, but just behind them looks like Jack Hedgecox and Jay Steffi starting to close the gap on them. So our top three kind of got into a comfortable pace here. They're going to want to try and pick up that pace a little bit. They don't necessarily want Hedgecox and Steffi catching them. Tyler Graff right now kind of the bumper between these two packs, top five just ahead of him. And then he's got that multi-car battle headed off by Nicholas Goen in behind, although Goen pulling away a little bit from Zach Mosley. Zach, one of our drivers that missed a couple races
missed
a couple races last season. Then you talked about him, came back, and he had a rough race. So we're going to keep limited talking about Zach here this evening to see how he does.
Yeah, we just talk about Zach's fans in the audience because they're there cheering him on, and we won't mention the driver himself. So thanks for watching. We hope you're here with us again this season. We pick it back up. Alex Hillman sitting in 10th place. Alex having a nice run in the Porsche. He's down 3 positions, but he's survived the lap 1 carnage, looking to gain and make up some of those positions back, following along behind Tony Costello with Dave Minona right behind him.
Yeah, we just saw a driver blink out there. I haven't seen him come back in, so somebody's struggling with a little bit of a connection issue there. It might have been Joshua Spears. Oh no, it was somebody who just said Joshua Spears. I haven't seen them come back in yet. I haven't seen any disconnection either, but so we'll see if they're managed to keep going. But Joshua Spears has David Bush just behind him, and he's got Caleb Lehman up ahead. See David Bush getting late on the brakes there, almost into the back end of Joshua Spears. That Lambo almost had a bit of a Corvette hood ornament, but thankfully enough, looked like Bush was able to get that car slowed down in time.
That would have been interesting seeing Lambo with a Corvette front hood ornament. Never quite seen that. David Bush, the third, went in real deep there, but falling a little bit back, unfortunately, because all that braking caused him to lose a lot of exit speed. Now looks like he's going to set himself up for getting back up onto the high bank straight section leading into the chicane.
Yeah, we should probably touch on the different colors on the screen. The 3 different classes we have this evening, the Pro and Pro-Am and Am drivers, all designated by their different color in the timing tower. The blue drivers are our Pro drivers. The red cars, or red numbered vehicles, are the Pro-Ams, and then our Am drivers are the green colors. So if you're wondering which category each one of the drivers fit into, that color would associate that there. All the points totaled out for the championship are going to be in overall finishing position. So it doesn't necessarily matter if you're battling a driver in another class. Every position on track matters because your points haul is going to be based on where you end up finishing. So you don't necessarily want to lose any position to any driver, no matter of what class or component of the race they're in. But we see 3 cars here going into turn 1. That's Zach Mosley trying to hold off a charge from Alex Hillman under the inside. Meanwhile, Dave Menino trying to find a way around the outside, unable to do it. This 3 cars going to head into the first horseshoe. First time around, the Merc of Costello doing well to hold back that pack right now.
Oh, it looks like we had somebody spin right in front of them too, so a little interesting going on there. I'm not sure who that's dropping back at, but wow, unfortunate. It looks like Herbert Pineda, something may have happened to him, and he's just dropping back through the field like crazy right now as well.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened to Herbert Pineda here. Looks like coming into turn 1, just coming in a little too hot, going to lose the back end of that McLaren, and around he goes. Unfortunate for him. Again, as we saw with Kevin Simpson, having to wait for a number of cars to go by before you get back on track. Thankfully for Herbert, he was on the outside where he can just reverse back into the grass and get himself turned around, unlike Kevin Simpson, who had to wait for, I can say, the majority of the field to go by before he get back out on track.
Yeah, it was really nice to see so far the two incidents that we managed to get replays on. Both drivers doing exceptional jobs with safe rejoins, not impeding others, and letting the race continue, accepting their mistakes and living and learning from them.
Yeah, no doubt. Looks like Matt Statnik was able to get around Jim Feliz into top spot while we were having a look at that replay. Just trying to find out if we have a replay of that moment so we can take a look and see what happened. But for some reason, I'm not seeing it flagged in the system here, Rich, but I'll keep looking to see if I can find that. But Matt Stadnick, last season's AM champion in the sprint side of things, now got himself up top of this 50-car grid.
Yeah, Matt really showcased last season. I think he won race 1 in Throttle Freaks as an amateur against the pros, and man, he looks like he's looking for another victory here as we follow along and look. Oh, that's what happened. That would explain how he got the lead there. A little bit of a wiggle and a little bit of a bump, and Matt Stadnick says, "Thank you very much. I will take advantage of that."
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot. Fortunately for Feliz, got a little squirrely there, had to gather it up, but Stadnick not only got by them, he was able to open up a 2-second gap. So unless Smecker and Feliz work together here, instead of battling, they could probably chase back down Stadnick up ahead. They might even want to drop back a little bit to pick up Jack Hedgecox and Jay Steffian behind, have that 4-car train. 4 cars are quicker than 1 car up ahead, but Stadnick, as we've seen in the past, definitely a qualified driver to lead this one around.
Yeah, Matt's got some experience. He's not afraid to be up front, and he knows how to drive it well. These 2 guys behind, though.
I think we might have cursed him, Rich.
I didn't say anything about the man. I did not say anything about him. I said we're glad to see his family here, and his car is. It's not wrecked. It's not wrecked. So no, we're good. We're good. We are not at fault here. That was just the new tire model, and Zach Mosley back on track and back moving forwards and upwards. So you were scaring me there, Rob. I thought we had some real big problems. That was just a little minor issue, and nice recovery, nice safe driving, nice safe rejoin. So we're gonna pick it back up. We've got Chris Mrecker following along, and he's following along behind Jim Feliz. He's got Jack Hedgecox right behind him. Man, oh man, this nice close battle. Matt Stadnick loving all the battling because he's still got his 2-second lead up ahead of all these guys.
Yeah, I want to take another look at that Mosley incident from I believe it was David Bush III's onboard as he was coming around there. They were so close to touching Rich that I don't know how he managed to avoid him, but let's take a look here. David Bush come around and see Mosley spinning up ahead, trying to decide which way to go. Went left. Mosley almost swung back around in front of him. So well done to miss him there. Both drivers can carry on.
He's got the tight elastics on the old thighs on the underwear there, and keeping everything in. Nice job by David Bush III. Man, that was close. Meanwhile, Jim Feliz is starting to close that gap down, and along with the help of Chris Mrecker, just a couple of seconds it looks like they've got on Matt Stadnick. So we're gonna go back through the midfield because we've got battles all up and down the track here, Rob. That is awesome to see. When you get this many cars, you get this many battles.
Yeah, we pick up Jared Deploy and Eric Evans. Eric, our biggest mover and shaker, was mentioned earlier. He was up 23 positions last time we checked in on him. Up, make it 26 now as he moves around. Jared Deploy to get himself up into 26th position. So hats off to Eric Evans, moving through the field relatively well. We're only at the 19-minute mark. We should also mention that extended race this season as we've merged the 2 leagues together. Normally it was 35 minutes for the fixed and then 40 minutes for the sprint. We've added another 5 minutes onto that too as well. 45-minute race here for all these drivers this evening. They will need to make a pit stop at some point in time. I believe the new tires should be fine. They won't need to change tires. Just a little splash of fuel to get them to the end, but we'll see how that plays out. Maybe some drivers might elect for some front tires. We'll see, knowing that it takes 2 or 3 laps to get them back up into operating temp. I don't know if you really want to take that chance, Rich.
Whoa, sending it up the inside, and very, very nice job, Jason Park, but that caused him. He went a little too wide, and nothing ventured, nothing gained, but looks like he's going to remain where he started that 2 corners earlier.
Yeah, Park made a nice move up the inside of Lehman, and then Lehman just gave him the old crossover when Park went off track. Nicholas Gowen's eyes probably got a little huge there when he saw that happen, potentially trying to take away a spot from Park too as well, but fortunately for Park, he was able to get back on track and hold on to that spot.
Nicholas having himself a good race so far. He's only up 3 positions, but he's sitting in a very good position, well within draft range of the guys ahead. So Still got a lot of cars bunched up together, and that's what we expect at Daytona, and that's what you need if you want to make some advancements. Very, very draft dependent. As we come around through corner one, Jim Feliz going around the outside of multiple lines you can take through that first corner. It all depends on whether you're defending or you're trying to overtake. Where's the best position to place your car?
Yeah, no doubt. They're starting to come up into some lap traffic now. They've got Neil Alexander just up ahead of them. Later, Matt Stadnick kind of separating his competitors with the lap car of Alexander. Then we got Nate Adair not too far up the track, about 7 seconds up the track too as well. So and with this many cars on track, it's not surprising we're starting to get into lap traffic, but we still got over half the race to go, Rich. So it's definitely going to get a little thicker out there as they start to navigate through the back end of the field. It'll be interesting to see where they catch them with the new tire model, potentially trying to overtake a little a slower driver. You're gonna have to get offline a little bit with the marble build up on track with these new tires. I'm not really sure how they're going to handle out there. Maybe even a little more dicey than they're used to.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys are really hoping to catch them up on the oval and get them in the draft and take full advantage of that. But especially with the incidents we saw earlier on, we're going to see more and more lap drivers than I think we normally would, even with a field this size. We lost a lot of guys on that first lap little incidents we saw, and I think that's causing some of this early lapping and backmarker traffic.
Yeah, it looks like something happened to Dave Menino. We saw him battling with that secondary pack up ahead. Oh! Not sure if that Porsche had some damage on him. Just kind of shot right up the track into the side of Menino. I think that would have been Alex Hillman. Let's see if we can pick up what happened to him there. He was down on the apron and then shot back up across the track. So not really sure what caused that issue, but that's going to send Dave Menino and Alex Hillman into the pits. So I'm not sure if that was a hardware issue or what it was, but definitely something went wrong there.
Yeah, and they were up a real battling real hard, and it's unfortunate to see them disappear basically and drop right down that leaderboard. Picking up Dave Jensen, making a good close battle here. Dave Jensen trying to make a move on Joshua Spear. Joshua having nothing, or am I looking at the right people? Yes, I am. Having nothing to do with that, unfortunately, at this stage.
Yeah, Joshua Spears just being the move around Jensen into turn one. He's going to take over 18th place. That's going to move Jensen back into 19th. So nice battle between those two. Jensen up 14 spots on the day, so nothing to really shake a stick at is for him. Well done. And himself in the top 20. Spears up 1 spot, so regaining a position from where he qualified. Next up on his list, Seb Goche and Gene McClune, about 2.5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, it's been great battling going on that we've seen. Jim Feliz is sitting in second place. He's still about almost 2 seconds behind Matt Stadnick, who's done a great job of maintaining that gap after he took advantage of that little turn one incident with Jim getting the back end loose. Chris Schmecker is following closely as we watch the driver pull off into the pits, as Jack Hegschkach, who was sitting in, I believe, fourth. So he's saying, hey, time to get me some tires, time to get me some fuel, get out of this little battle, pick it back up, and see where the chips may fall.
Yeah, interesting to see. It looks like he's our first scheduled driver, and actually looks like Tyler Graff, too, as well, coming in to get some service, as well as Tony Costello. Number of drivers starting to come in to get their service. One of the Goen brothers, Josh Goen, into as well. So front half of the field, or I guess mid back of the field, starting to take this opportunity. Rich to come in. Oh no, we've got the other Goen, Nicholas Goen, is going to lose the back end in his McLaren there, unfortunately for him.
See, I hadn't mentioned his name. Oh, I guess I had, actually. That's unfortunate for Nicholas. Nice to see him getting it back going. Once again, a nice clean rejoin. Take a look back. He's coming around the outside, just getting out into the marbles. And yeah, may have just gone on the throttle a little early. The back end come around, nose into the wall. Luckily, nobody right behind them was able to get the car back on track pretty quickly. Hopefully, damage is somewhat minimal there.
Nice avoidance by Roy Brown on that one in the orange Merc. Saw him having to make a decision last second there as Goen was spinning around. That's a difficult thing to do, Rich, when you see the car spinning up ahead of you. You can kind of see maybe it's going to roll back a little bit. Maybe it might go forward. You got to really make a split-second decision and hope that you pick the right direction. I know there's been plenty of times where I've picked the wrong direction more than the right direction, but for Roy Brown, worked out well that time, and he's able to continue on.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's not my casino game of choice, because I usually am the loser and the house usually wins on that. We're going to take a look. We got Pete Machaya. Pete sitting in 9th place. Pete up 17 positions, following along behind Roy Brown, who's up 19 positions. A great little battle here. We've got, looks like the 3 cars, and along with the guy in the Corvette who we do not talk about, all battling 1, 2, and 3, and they're all coming in the pits at the same time.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of the drivers who haven't pit all coming in. We've got Stanek in, Feliz in, Smrecker, Steffi, Bush the third, Caleb Lehman. Basically the rest of our top 15 all in for their service here. So we can firmly say we're at the end of the fuel window here for these drivers, as they're all coming in almost like clockwork here, Rich. We see a number of drivers trying to get slowed down for that timing and scoring line. You definitely don't want to get a speeding penalty here, 40-second stop and hold with this many cars on track.
No, that would just kill you. Just kill you. Yeah, it looks like the fuel tanks aren't allowing for the hugest of pit windows like we're used to seeing in the shorter races. So strategy is a little tighter now in terms of who comes in when. But Matt Stadnik continuing to maintain a first place. Nice 2.2 second gap on second. Jack Hedgecock taking over second place with those pit stops going on. So, man, we're going to see how everything shakes out in a couple of minutes once everybody does their fuel and refresh.
Yeah, interesting pit stop for Jack Hedgecock. He had a cone-to-cone time in the pits of 52.97, which was quicker than Statnik and Feliz, almost 2 seconds quicker than Jim Feliz, and about 3 seconds quicker than Chris Smrecker. But his actual time in the pit stall was longer than those 3 drivers. But his time in and off pit road a lot quicker. So interesting. You usually don't see that range all that much. Usually the time lost is getting in and off in the pit box itself, not getting in and off pit road. So Jack Hedgecock's found the secret sauce to getting in and out of his pit stall as quick as he can.
Yeah, I think that exit out of pit road with that concrete wall scares a lot of people, and I think Jack may have just sent it and said, "Let's go," and obviously took great advantage of that, and moved himself right up. But still 2 seconds behind Matt Stadnik. Matt Stadnik having a fantastic race thus far. We're 28 minutes, almost 29 minutes into this 45-minute race, and once he got past those guys for first place, he's just kind of held on to that lead.
Yeah, as we see here, Josh Goen and Caleb Lehman. Lehman getting a little bit of a bump draft down the oval section from Goen. Goen going to try the crossover into turn 1. Lehman going out wide. See Jason Park up ahead, going real wide. Still going wide, trying to get the car back on track. That yellow and blue Acura flirting with the grass out there. So he was able to hold on to it, but that's going to allow Goen and Lehman to really close that gap between he and themselves. They got a lap car up ahead of James Hand. He's going to move over and let them through. Nicely done by him, but that battle's going to continue on now with Jason Park trying to hold off the charge between Josh Goen and Caleb Lehman.
Yeah, very nice job of the lap traffic staying out of the way, knowing this is not their race, letting the guys up front battle, and Jason Park doing a great job with Josh Goen and Caleb Lehman in behind. Really, really exciting racing. Daytona never fails to disappoint us here, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. You can always find somebody to race with out there. Speaking of racing, Waldo Walden, our AM championship on the fixed side last thing, came down to a very dicey situation in the last race of the finale, Rich, where we saw Waldo run out of gas in the last corner, potentially had a chance to lose his championship, but thankfully he had enough buffer between his compatriot Kevin Berquist that it had the win play out for him. I believe it was 4 points, if I remember correctly, separated between them at the end. So Waldo Walden did just what he needed to do to win the championship. But right now, in a battle with Seb Gauthier for 21st place, you see Gauthier looking up to the inside. We'll see if he makes a move into the bus stop. Thinks better of it. It's going to pull back in. Walden will hold on to that position, but Herbert Pineda now closing into the back of them. So we have 3-car battle shaping up for 21st place.
Yeah, Herbert Pinedo very happy. I think that Seb Gauthier didn't try to make that move because that allowed Herbert to close right up. Seeing Herbert going real tight, real close. Let's see if he tries to pull out or where he tries to pull out, or we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. This could get real exciting here, Rob. We got 1, 2, 3. There we go. We got one car pulling out. Herbert's still tucked in behind. Seb Gauthier's pulled outside. Is Herbert going to go inside and make a 3 wide? He does. Oh, he lost some parts, it looks like.
Yeah, I think that was the rear bumper of Waldo Walden. It looks like iRacing gave it back to him there. It's like Pineda probably just a 0x tap that rear corner of Walden's bumper as he went into turn 1. Tried the little crossover to the inside and just got a little bit of him. Netco tore that bumper off, but ended up giving it back to him. So these drivers can continue on and try and battle a little bit further.
I need to get their body, man, because, man, I can't get a bumper replaced that quick. That was fabulous. Jack Hedgecock's having a great race. He's battling with Jim Feliz. You know how good Jack Hedgecock's is doing, because Jim Feliz was certainly a force to be reckoned with last season. Jack, though, not afraid of him, but here we go. We've got Jim pulling around the outside. Jack is taking in the inside. We're going to have a little crossover move here. Looks like Feliz is just tucking it back in. Doesn't have anything to go by here. Jack Hedgecock's nice clean lines, no mistakes made. Going to continue on this way for another couple of corners.
Yeah, it looks like Hedgecock's had to gather up the rear end exiting out of turn 1. Got a little squirrely, but unfortunately for Feliz, he wasn't able to capitalize on that. But he's going to stay tucked in behind and try and find another way around. But the story of the night right now, Matt Statnik, once he got ahead of Feliz and Sprecher, he opened up that 2-second gap. He's been able to hold on to it. I'm actually surprised that the couple cars in behind weren't able to chase him down, but they're getting into a little more lap traffic. Teddy Peterson just up ahead of him in the white Porsche. He's just a solo driver there. Next lap traffic, another 18 seconds up the road. So I suspect Statnik will be able to dispatch with Peterson in before the bus stop, but Hedgecock's and Feliz might have to deal with that car heading out of the bus stop. So we'll see when they catch him. It could be interesting here. Lap traffic might play a little bit of a role in this battle.
Yeah, it's all a matter of where you catch them. Here we go. We got Jack Hedgecock, Jim Feliz. Oh, going through the bus stop, a little bumping, a little shoving, and a little pushing, but everybody's getting through okay. Little driver apologies on the comms, I think, but no harm, no foul, and they live to fight another day, Rob.
Yeah, I think that was Jim Feliz apologizing there and getting into the side of Hedgecock's. That's going to allow Chris Sprecher to close back up into this battle with that Merc in behind. But he's been lingering up around the front. Unfortunately for him, wasn't able to make a move back up in there once he got a little bit of a tangling with Feliz. But you see these 3 cars heading into turn 1. You see the back ends of those cars getting a little loose. Can't quite hammer into the throttle like he could before with these 2 tires. So you see the drivers having to be wary of that. Sprecher looks to the inside of Feliz. Not quite enough overlap to make that move stick. Feliz might hold on to this as he'll have the inside line as they head through the kink up ahead. But this battle raging on. And I should mention Tony Costello, or sorry, not Tony Costello, I believe that's Jay Steffi just lurking in behind now too as well. So our driver who qualified in P4, strong showing by Steffi, he's got himself up into this battle again, potentially for second spot on the podium.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're talking about those 3 guys, but Jay Steffi, I think, is the guy to watch because he's sitting in the good spot to be. You know, these guys are going to be battling hard. They're going to be pushing. They're, you know, there's going to be a little bumping, and Jay Steffi's just sitting there. He's in draft range, just trying to avoid trouble, and let's wait for the opportunities to present themselves. And Jay having himself a decent race. He's down 1 position, but he's where he needs to be.
Yeah, we see Feliz thinking about looking to the inside into the bus stop again. Remembers what happened last time through. Didn't really want to make that move again, but a little slower exit through the bus stop for Feliz. That's going to put him into the clutches of Sprecher. So see if Sprecher gets enough of a run here down the oval section to get a run into turn 1. Right tight up on the back of Feliz now. It looks like that Merc doesn't quite have enough overrun to get the pass done. Looks like he's going to try and bump draft Feliz a little closer to Hedgecock's up ahead.
Any chance we can take a look? It looks like Blake Zeedy may have crashed, Rob. Do you any chance we can see a replay of that? Whoa, sorry. Whoa, let's stay on here. We've got the good close battling, but no changes everybody pushing. Oh, real tight, going inside, going outside, and Jay Steffi sitting in the catbird seat watching all this action going on behind it, or ahead of him, and just some sheer craziness.
Yeah, tight battle from those three there, but we got a moment we can take a look at what happened to Blake Seedy at your request, but it looks like Blake already missing the front half of that NSX into turn one. It looks like a little onto power, going to lose the back end there. A little kiss to the wall, and a bad race going even worse for Blake Seedy.
Yeah, I think, he's a little underweight in the front, and that just threw the balance off Rob, and that back end came around on him. But go back up to the front again, because we've got some great battling going on between Jack Hedgecock, Jim Feliz, Chris Schmecker, and Jay Steffi. All of this is allowing Matt Stanek just to take a huge lead. He's over 4 seconds ahead of these guys now, and just loving every minute of these guys battling.
Yeah, no doubt. That's exactly what he wants to see in his rearview mirror, Rich. The more they battle, the more he can pull away, as we got just over 8 minutes to go in this one. So still plenty of time for our drivers to battle. It's probably about another 4 laps potentially, as we see them moving around the lap car of Teddy Pearson, staying high to let this battle through. Looks like a Sprecher falling off the back of Feliz a little bit. Feliz closing back in on Hedgecock, so they're going to renew their battle for second place. But another battle back here with Zach Mosley trying to make a move around Caleb Lehman. Zach trying to recover off that little lazy spin that the Corvette had early on. That's going to move him back up 1 spot, put him +6 on the day into P10.
Yeah, I mean, considering that spin he had earlier, that's fantastic. I mean, just fantastic. You don't expect to be moving up positions when you have stuff like that happen. And Seb Gauthier, a little fake, a little dash, a little poke the nose out, and let's not do anything right now, but let him know you're there. Seb looking behind Herbert Pineda with a Waldo Walden right behind him.
Yeah, Waldo Walden, a bit of a ways back from these guys, about 4 seconds back. He was in that battle. We saw where Pineda kind of touched the back bumper of Walden there, and he's kind of fallen off that battle as it stands. But say we got Nicholas Goen and Gene McClune battling. I see a bumper flying around up there. I'm not sure who that was, but potentially David Morris or Caleb Lehman. It might have been Caleb Lehman's bumper hanging out there. We'll see if we can catch a look at what happened there in a moment. But this battle between Goen and McClune looks like it's settled a little bit, as McClune falling a little bit back off of Goen. Mosley spun. Lehman tried to go around him. He's going to lose the front bumper. So unfortunately for, I believe that was Zach Mosley, his recovery run going to be cut a little bit short.
He's had all kinds of adventures tonight, and that unfortunately, when we keep showing them, they're not necessarily the best adventures. But we're going back up front here. We're close to the front with Jim Feliz. Oh no! Well, Jim Feliz and Jack Hedgecock's had a great battle going on, but they rubbed it a little bit on the bus stop earlier, and this time they rubbed it a little harder than they could take, and yeah, it looks like Jack Hedgecock just got into Jim Feliz a little bit there, or vice versa, came down on him.
This angle might tell us exactly what happened there. Oh, it looks like Feliz just try to close off a little bit, and unfortunately for him, looks like Hedgecock was already there.
Yeah, almost pitted himself there. 2 does not go into 1, unfortunately, but we're going to go back here, look at some drivers who are still on track. We got Caleb Lehman. Caleb having a good race, up 5 positions, but Pete Majaya right behind him. It looks like Pete is up 15 positions with Josh Goen in behind them, up 31 positions. Great battle going on here in the mid-pack.
Yeah, Josh Goen drinking a little bit from the fountain of staying out of trouble and keeping your nose clean here. Rich is going to gauge spot. Oh, he goes deep into the braking section there. Almost gets into the back of Pete Majia. Pete was probably having a little Code Brown moment there as he saw that McLaren coming up fast on his tailpipe. But fortunately for him, Goen was able to bail off to the left and knock into the back of Pete Majia. So they're going to continue to battle. Caleb Lehman leading this battle around without a front bumper on this. So he's going to be a little arrow down here on the straight. Be a little slower. It looks like Jason Parks serving a slowdown, so he's going to get into this battle too as well. 4-car battle here now, led by Caleb Lehman for 9th place.
great. A little bit of razzle dazzle for you there, Rob. I think I saw it, and I say I got to steal your catchphrase. I mean, it's the first time we've seen it this season, and you may have missed it, so I wanted to make sure somebody got it. Pete Magia having a good little battle with Jack Owen, and following in behind Caleb Lehman. They're well back of Dave Bush III, so these guys are just battling it out here for the 9th and 10th positions to see who can get in the top 10.
Yeah, we see Magia getting a good run on Lehman there. I'm actually surprised Lehman able to keep that pace without the front bumper on there. Generally, it turns the front end of the car into a big wind wall where it just slows you right down. But Josh Goen looking to the inside there. He's going to make the move on Pete Magia to see if he can hold on to it. He's going to get it done and dusted before they head into the curve. You see so many accidents through those S's there where a car thinks they're clear, but then they start working back through the S's, Rich, and lo and behold, the car that just passed still had a nose tucked up in there. But nice move by Josh Goen. That's going to put him plus 33 positions on the day. Next on his list, Caleb Lehman.
Yeah, it's a nice clean driving, and it looks like that McLaren with the extra headlights up front, he's got the path lit up for him a little better than the other cars, so he's doing a great job, and very impressive driving for the debut of Josh Goen into the Throttle Freaks League.
Yeah, it's a nice showing for him. The battle for second place up here. Jack Hedgecock's trying to use the lap car of Colin McKenzie for a little bit of draft as they head down the front straight. McKenzie got wrapped up in an incident early on, so just trying to gain himself some points back there a little bit further back. But Chris Sprecher trying to get the run. That Merc just doesn't look like it has the overall pace compared to the Mercedes, where Hedgecock's able to hold off the charge from the Mercedes into turn one. But Sprecher a little closer with only 40, what are we at, 42 and a half, almost going to 43 minutes, so 2 minutes to go in this one. So I should have this lap, plus potentially one more lap here, Rich.
Yeah, it's been some great battling. We've seen all the way through the field. As we go back into the 20th place, Seb Gauthier falling still behind Herbert Pineda, having a good battle. These guys, it doesn't matter where you are in this field, whether you're up battling for second or you're battling for 20th. There's a race going on. Be interesting to see, though, Rob, is Barney going to be on strike, or is he coming back for this season?
We'll have to look here in a moment here and see if Barney's waving. So Barney's he's ready, but it's not the white flag let, but he's out there ready, Rich. I have faith in him.
I guess we must have given him a little pay increase. Jack Hedgecock, though, continuing to hold second place, taking advantage of that great pit entry and exit. Chris Sprecher all over the back of him, but contentious to hang tight right now and not make any moves as they go through the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he's building up for a last lap maneuver here, as they're going to be coming around to take the white flag. Our leader just up ahead of them, Matt Stadnick, just had it on cruise control here since after the pit stops, as he's heading around to pick up the white flag. Barney ready there and waving. There it is. White flag is out last time around for our leaders. And there we go. Let's see if Sprecher able to make the move on Hedgecock's into turn one. Hedgecock's going to hold the inside line, bleed it out a little wider and cut back in. Sprecher closes in, but not enough to make a move. So he's got about half a lap to go here, Rich, of decent overtaking opportunities to make that move.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot of action happening through the bus stop and the exit of the bus stop there between those guys. Pete Magia sitting in 12th right now. He's got Roy Brown all over the back of him, and nobody wants to, stay where they are. Everybody wants that one at position. You may not be battling for the lead, but you're battling for something, and every position is a couple of points on the board as they come around, take the white flag. One lap remaining for these guys with a bunch of cars up ahead of them. Going wide, going inside, going a little outside, and looks like Nick Goen is sticking a nose in there too.
Yeah, battles all throughout this one, but Zach Mosley recovering a run again and trying to get around Caleb Lehman. He's got Josh Goen up ahead of him. So Goen got around Lehman to put himself plus 34 on the day. That's going to put him into 9th place, but this is looks like about a 5-car train here, Rich, for 9th place. Final spots in the top 10 up for grabs here. We'll see if Moses is able to make that move around Lehman once they get up on the bank section. Let's check back in on our battle for second place as they're heading towards the bus stop. This will be the last real chance for Sprecher to try and make the move.
past the bus stop here, Rob. It looks like we're coming around for the checker flag here.
We are.
And we're going to take Matt Stadnick, victory week 1, followed by Jack Hedgecox, then Chris Smecker, rounding out the
Yeah, nicely done by Matt Stadnick. We'll go back to the spow for 9th place. Looks like going comfortably into 9th, but right now Caleb Lehman trying to hold off the charge from Zach Mosley. Mosley has Magia and Nicholas going in tow. So the going duo up into the top 15 comfortably, with the biggest mover being Josh. Nicholas in 13th place, 14th place now in behind. As they're making the run to the line, looks like Josh going to hold on to 9th place. Caleb Lehman ducks down onto the apron, trying to get as much pace as he can. He's going to hold off Zach Mosley and Pete Magia as they charge to the line. A little further back, we got Kevin Simpson involved early on. We saw him up against the wall trying to recover here. He's got Jared Deploy up ahead of him. Looks like that BMW Simpson getting a nice run out of the bus stop. A little bit of front aero damage for Jared Deploy. See if Simpson's able to make that move around into turn 1 before they cross the line. It's going to be tight. They've got, I believe that's a lap car of James Hand up ahead. He's going to duck to the inside, but looks like Simpson's going to take that position away from Jared Deploy at the line.
Wow, it was a little close racing. Kevin Berquist following up in 24th, and we're going to follow along with the driver still out on track. We've got Guillermo Perez. Dale Peterson sitting in 29th. Not the race Dale was hoping for, but he did manage to get through and finish the race.
Yeah, a number of drivers are going to want to scratch this one off the list pretty quickly, Rich, and get ready for, I guess we got a week off before they've got to get ready for the next week. So a lot of time for our drivers to recoup, get a little more driving with the new tire model under their belt, but nice drive by Jack Hedgecox here on screen, up into 2nd place, up 7 spots from where he started, but biggest mover of the day, this man right here, Josh Goen, 34 spots gained on the day, so well done by him.
Yeah, that's very, very impressive in this 50 some odd car field, and taking advantage of some mistakes of others and moving on up.
Yeah, then let's take a look at the final results. We've got Matt Stadnick taking this win with 2.5 seconds over Jack Hedgecox. Chris Smecker in 3rd. Jay Steffi brings it home in 4th. Nice run by him. Tyler Graff in 5th. Jim Feliz falls down to 6th. Tony Costello in 7th. David Bush III in 8th. In 9th, Josh Goen in 10th. Caleb Lehman in 11th. Zach Mosley, Pete Magia in 12th. Roy Brown in 13th. Nicholas Goen brings it home in 14th. Gene McClune in 15th. Joshua Spears in 16th. Andrew Venaro in 17th. Dave Jensen in 18th. Herbert Pineda 19th. And Seb Gauthier rounding out the top 20.
Wow, we've got a lot of cars here, and Kevin Simpson 21st, followed by Jared Deploy in 22nd. Then we had Waldo Walden, followed by Kevin Berquist. Blake Ziti, followed by Jacob Figner. In 27th, we had Guillermo Perez, followed in 28th by Tyler Pastor. 29th, the last driver in the lead lap was Dale Peterson, followed in 30th, 1 lap down by Patrick Farrell.
Yeah, then we're going to find Teddy Peterson in 31st, Mark File in 32nd, James Hand in 33rd, Nate Adair in 34th, Eric Evans in 35th. We get into a bit of a used car parking lot with drivers down multiple laps. Jason Park, Neil Alexander, J.R. Williams all down 3 laps. Andrew Trickett down 4 laps. Dave Menino down 5 laps. And then a number of drivers that were caught up in the first lap incidents, some of them back on track, Rich, some of them we didn't see again. So best of luck next week, or I guess in 2 weeks for them. I suspect they'll all want to be coming back out to put in a much better effort than they were able to show here this week. But so you got a number of drivers in the booth here waiting to talk. Rich, why don't we let you catch up with our winner, Matt Stadnick?
Hey guys.
Hey, Matt, welcome back. It's nice to have you here. You seem to really like winning week 1 races.
Hey, I'll take it. It feels really good to start the season off like this. Sort of sucks that Jim and Chris got a little argy-bargy right there, but yeah, it felt really good. I felt like I had the pace all all week practicing, and it just sort of all came together, which is really nice.
Well, before they had their argy-bargy, as you said, it looked like Jim. I believe it was Jim got a little loose, and you didn't wait for a second invitation. And once you got past those two, you just booked it, like you were gone. And great job.
Yeah. As a team, we sort of talked about, if we get up in the front row, let's just get in the draft. Let's just let's build a little bit of a buffer from everybody else. And then if we really want to start, pushing the limit at the end. And, but I felt like I sort of had the pace. I was just sort of holding a little bit back. I mean, Chris and Jim are fast as hell. So, but I had a little bit in the tank. So I think once I got around, I was just able to really get some fresh air and just get out.
Well, awesome job and congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. I hope you enjoy the 4th of July week off. And anybody you'd like to thank tonight, Matt?
Just the team. I mean, we have so many guys this season, and it's just really fun. Everybody's been practicing really, really hard, as we always do, and it just seems to be showing off. And thank you guys again, and welcome back, and have a great 4th of July.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, and we're glad to be back. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Take care.
So that was Matt Stadnick, our winner of the first race of the season here. Looks like we got Jack Hedgecox into the booth too as well. Jack, nice race there, +7 positions on the day. Couple battles with Jim Feliz heading through the bus stop. You came out looking rosy after the last one. How'd your race go from your seat?
Went pretty good. I thought my quality was poor. I still had another 2 tenths in it, so I definitely could have started higher up. So I knew there was progress to be made, and it happened. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, with the incident with Jim, I mean, I felt like I was there still. If he wants to make it to where he owns the track, he's got to, clear me. So I don't know. We'll figure out if he reports that. But at least, in the part where I came out better on the second hand around, I feel like I was there, but we'll leave it to them to do it. But overall, I mean, pretty good pace. I thought in practice that it wasn't really there, but after everyone went up for quality and everything, and times went through, was farther up the grid than I thought. So overall, great night, really.
New tire model this season, Jack. How are you liking it compared to the previous instances?
I feel like it's track dependent for me. Just trying to get used to how you need to drive it track by track, especially this week in this car. In Daytona, the infield for me was pretty touch and go. I definitely had to watch some guide laps before tonight and just make sure I had the braking zones down and what to do, because I mean it's easy to push, but it's really, you just have to keep it stable. You don't really get the lap time how they're saying, how you're able to use the tire and get those lap times. I mean, realistically, just driving how you were before is still quicker. So it's staying in that. I didn't really have many saves I had to do per se. Definitely kept my tires alive and just in that first stint before pit stops. So I had the tires towards the end, just try not to spin them. But overall, I'd say they did a good job with it.
Well, congrats on the finish, Jack. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
I just want to thank the Gowan brothers. Got me in here last minute yesterday, or so. Definitely last minute addition. Get back into doing some weekly league racing. So I just want to thank them two boys, and hopefully this season will go pretty good for us.
Good stuff, Jack. Well, best of luck heading forward. Again, a week off before we head back to Fuji, so get some practice in, and we'll see you then.
Alrighty, thanks, guys.
So that was second place, Jack Hedgecox. Looks like we've got our third place finisher, Chris Smrecker, catching up with Richard Swindells.
What's up, boys?
Hey, Hey, Chris, congratulations on making the podium there. Could you just give us a pronunciation of your last name so we've got it for the future races in case we butchered it really bad tonight, Chris?
Haha, totally. Yeah, it's a unique one. It's Smraker.
There we go. We will not forget that. We've got it on YouTube, saved and sorted. You had yourself a great battle with Hedgecox. How'd that race go for you?
Yeah, it was good. You know, early on, I got a great jump and hopped into second right away. Team SRT strategy. I figured we were going to try to draft and get away, but, you know, I was on a little fuel save strategy too, but the boys started mixing it up, and then it was game on from there, trying to, yeah, really stay in that top three. So overall, good race. Really, yeah, really proud of the result and great practice with the team leading up to it.
Yeah, the AMG Merc, you're the top finisher driving that car. Is that your favorite? How'd you come to choose that?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty new to GT3s. Really only do them for the endurance events. I used to race the GT4, and I was the Merc there too. So, just felt it was a really good transition into the GT3. They have a lot of same characteristics, but yeah, a lot more downforce to work with the GT3 cars.
Oh, excellent. We're going to Fuji in 2 weeks' time. Have you done much racing at Fuji?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm definitely gonna need to hit the practice pretty hard to get up to pace with my buddy Matt Stadnick. We're usually battling for fastest laps, so yeah, we'll get in those practice sessions and get after it. I definitely need some lap time there.
We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, the team for sure. They put on, you know, it's a great community over at SRT. Appreciate all the time and dedication those members have in setting up the practice sessions, making sure we're fully prepped for the race. And then a special shout out to my dad. I think he's checking out the broadcast tonight. It's first time of me getting a podium on a broadcast, so I'm sure he's pretty pumped.
Now, what's your dad's name, Chris?
Tony.
Hey, Tony. Hope you're watching, and your boy did well tonight. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time, Chris. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
All right, good night.
That was our third place finisher, Chris Smrecker. Looks like we've got Jay Steffi. Nice race by Jay Steffi. You were hemming and hawing this offseason, Jay, about joining the sprint, taking your chances in the open setup, and then everything got merged together. You're back into fixed setup and a strong P4 finish. How'd your race go from your side of things?
Hello, Rob, Richard. I'm just super stoked, super happy. I finally got out of the race. Now I don't have to worry about it no more. Draft is king, so I was able to stay up next to the car in front of me. I never really got back more than a second, and that helped me distance from Tyler because he was really pushing hard.
Yeah, how did you find adjusting to the new tires this season? We've asked a couple drivers. Hedgecox thought you really had to kind of drive it the way you did before, just kind of wait for them to warm up. And then some other drivers have said, you know, it's completely different. They really push a lot harder. How are you feeling out there?
I completely agree with Hedgecock. After the start, coming up to turn one, it's Cole Brown moment. I mean, everybody was just on the brakes hard. The first horseshoe, it was just scary. I was looking in my mirror praying I didn't get hit. But after lap two, for me, at least for lap two, is when the tires really start picking up, and then you can go hard.
We head to Fuji in 2 weeks after a week off. It's a track that drivers you seem to really like or really hate. Myself, I kind of like it depending what car you're in. How are you feeling about heading to Fuji with the GT3 machinery?
If I have a good lap, I like it. If I don't, I hate it. It's usually the latter.
That's fair enough. Anybody you want to shout out, Jay, before we let you go?
I want to say thank you to you and Richard, Throttle Freaks, Colin, Nick, Sean putting it on. And lastly, most importantly, my beautiful wife for letting me have a really expensive hobby.
Yeah, we got to thank the better halves. They keep us in line. Well done, Jay. Best of luck to you in 2 weeks' time at Fuji.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. So that was Jay Steffi. Let's quickly bring in last season's pro champion in the fixed side of things, Tyler Graff. Tyler, P5 in this size of field, over 50 cars. It's got to feel like a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah, P5 and I think second in class, and I don't know. I didn't. I kind of just rode there hoping someone would give me a draft or somebody would slow up and give me a draft, or I was just kind of riding around and yeah, it was a fun race though. I like the new race distance. I think it adds a little bit more just to the endurance and to keeping the tires under you and everything like that. And yeah, it was a fun race. Cool to see. I think that was Jay's first win. I know. If there's anyone who wanted to win here, it was that guy, and I'm happy for him. So he crossed that bridge. So that good for him, and hopefully we can have some good battles this year or this season.
Yeah, well done to him. So we got a week off before we head back to Fuji. I've driven the Porsche there a number of times. It's a little lacking on the straights. You got that massive straight in Fuji. How are you feeling about heading into that race in 2 weeks?
I think I'm feeling okay. I mean, today I had the disadvantage in the straight line too, and I was able to stay within a 2 seconds and 3 seconds of the two guys drafting ahead of me. So I think whatever I'm doing center corner off is working to at least lessen that damage. But we'll have to see. It's got a lot of low speed corners, and I'm kind of wondering how the tires will do that. So we'll see what happens, but we're gonna play at Brands Hatch next week first because that's my favorite track.
Yeah, get more accustomed with the new tires at Brand Hatch next week. Anybody you want to? Well, I already know where we're gonna go with the shoutouts here, Tyler. So fire away.
Yeah, thanks to you guys at Lunatic. To the guys at Lunatic, they're having me race with them for points this season, so it's nice to be on and be racing with the team. And thanks to my friends over at MadWorks, and yes, Corporation Pop is out Friday.
Nailed it. Well, best of luck.
I nailed it. I didn't have to remember a number. It's this week.
There you go. We expect to see you back near the front again in 2 weeks, Tyler. Get that practice in, and we'll see you at Fuji.
Thanks.
Take care. So that was fifth place, Tyler Graff. We got a couple more drivers in here. Let's first bring in. Let's see here. Let's bring in Josh going. Rich, why don't you have a chat with him about his 34 positions he picked up in this one?
Yeah, congratulations on that fantastic showing, Josh, and welcome to Throttle Freaks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You had yourself an interesting race and got yourself a fair amount of screen time. How'd that race go for you, and how'd you make so many positions up?
Well, naturally by starting at the back of the field. I really did struggle to find space in qualifying, and actually had a wreck too. So I was just kind of getting the car underneath me and had an incident at the bus stop. And so by the time I towed, got the new car, got green tires, I just didn't have enough time left to really heat them back up. So started at the back and then just prayed that I made it through lap one. It was chaotic, and it felt like every turn I could see the whole field, cars going left and right, and just trying to be smart and make it through, which I did. And then from there it was just kind of settle into my own race, and had a lot of fun chasing the folks in front of me down, and trying to be creative with some of the moves and use traffic and people checking up for my advantage. And most of it all worked out. Awesome. I did have one incident at turn one, but other than that, it was a really clean race.
Yeah, and by our calculations, you were the winner of the amateur division tonight, 9th place overall. Is that your brother who finished 14th overall?
Yeah, that is my Nick and I have been racing together for a long time, and doing the sim racing, and used to do the precision racing league, and took a little break, and we're excited to see kind of the spiritual successor over here. So excited to be back and racing with a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, we're glad to have you, and congratulations on you. And I guess Jack Hedgecock is also on your team. We go to Fuji in a couple of weeks. We look forward to seeing you there. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, just all the fans, the boys in the Going Racing crew, and any family tuning in.
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Fuji.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that was Josh Goen, our biggest mover and shaker of the day. And lastly, we'll bring in Zach Mosley, who we swear we did not curse in this one. And Richard, you caught up with him.
Well, I can talk about you now because the race is over, but we did mention your family, Zach. You had some adventures out there tonight.
Yeah, it was some interesting times on track tonight.
But you still managed to pull off a good result, 11th overall, second in class. Great result considering.
Appreciate it, guys.
Couple little spins, but how did you manage to stay up there? I don't get it. Like you somehow managed to, through all of that, persevere.
Your guess is as good as mine. I just kind of kept pushing. I tried to keep my head down. The first spin didn't affect the car at all. I took no damage in it, and I just flipped around and took off. There was a weird little incident with a lap down car, just not knowing which way either one of us was going to go. I ended up with some damage off of that. The spin in front of Caleb is where the significant portion of my damage came from. The last 5 laps, I was about 10 degrees to the right with the steering wheel. So it was just pull out what we can and hope for the best.
Well, you did a great job. We're going to see you in 2 weeks at Fuji. We'll take next week off for 4th of July in Canada Day, a little celebration for each of us. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Anybody like to thank Zach?
Thanks to all the guys at SCR, all of our sponsors. Always thanks to the wife for putting up with me while I enjoy this little hobby of ours. And thanks to you guys for a great broadcast.
Awesome. We look forward to seeing you, and congratulations once again, Zach.
Thanks, guys.
That was Zach Mosley. After all of his trials and tribulations, manages to bring it home in 11th place. So well done by him. Rich, that's going to finish up our first race of season 2 here at Throttle Freaks. A whole lot of action. Unfortunately, there's just so many cars on track. We weren't able to cover every single battle that was out there. So hopefully we see all these battles again in 2 weeks at Fuji. I suspect we'll have a strong showing of drivers here again coming back out to test their mettle. But for myself, Rob Campbell, and Richard Swindells in the booth, we're going to sign off, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Fuji. Bye for now.
Good night.